In this video, I'm going to be comparing what I consider to be two of the very best premium fountain pens you can buy today. This is the Aurora Optima and the Pelikan M800. I will compare them. I will tell you what the differences are, what I like and don't like about each of these pens coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. All right, let's get on with the review. Here I have two Aurora Optimas on the right and two Pelikan M805s on the left. Now, in my opinion, these are the two best premium pens that you can buy today. Now, what do I mean by premium pen? Well, I just made up that term, but what I mean by it is what are the pens that offer the best user experience from a comfort perspective, from a reliability and nib feel perspective, just from a everyday practicality perspective. That's these two pens here, the Aurora Optima and Pelikan M800. Now, these are the pens that I would recommend if somebody said to me, what is the best pen you can buy on the market today? Now, as you know, my favorite pen of all time is the Aurora Optima. Second favorite pen is the Montblanc 149. While I think the nibs are fantastic and easily just as good as the M805 nibs, the M800 M805 is going to be more comfortable for more people. Most crucially, the nibs are interchangeable and the nibs are threaded and easily interchangeable and available for purchase. So that's why this pen just doesn't make the cut here. So that's what I mean by premium pen. I have much more expensive pens than these, but really, they're not really typically adding much from a writing perspective that can't be found between these two models. Now, let's talk about the price of these. The retail price for like the more standard models are in the $600 to $700 range for both the Aurora Optima and the Pelikan M800. Some of the more limited edition models get more expensive, but you're really just getting different finishes. Or in the case of the Aurora, if you do spend more, you can get different specialty nibs. But really, they're the same price, essentially. So let's talk about why you would buy one over the other. There is a style component difference here for sure. Some people will not love the Pelikan look. Some people will not love the Optima look. There is the option of the Aurora 88, which is essentially the exact same pen, same grip section, same nibs. The one difference that I always thought was kind of strange is that the 88 has a tiny bit less ink capacity, but otherwise they're essentially the same pen, and it would be more the length of the Pelikan M800. I just don't have one of those anymore. The big difference between these pens beyond the looks are the nibs. So let's talk about the nibs, right? So visually, they're both like number 6 size nibs. The Pelikan has higher shoulders. The Aurora has a more shapely downturn into the tail of the nib. I think the Aurora nib shape is prettier. However, I do think the imprint on the Pelikan is more attractive, especially in the two-tone. Now, in terms of finishes, Pelikan comes in a two-tone like I have here, as well as single-tone. The Aurora comes in only single-tone, rhodium, rose gold, yellow gold, and depending on like the version of the pen you get, I've also had blue, which can be matte or shiny, and then the same for black, which can be matte or shiny. And I've also seen brown colored nibs from Aurora, all interchangeable. The feeds are different. The Pelikan feeds are plastic. The Aurora feeds are ebonite. That doesn't really matter for writing experience. In terms of the way they write, this is really one of the biggest differences, and they are very different. So if you had an Optima and a Pelikan M800, you would have the opportunity to have a lot of different nib experiences because of the different way that they feel and the nib grades available. Now, talking about the feeling of these nibs, the Aurora nibs are nails. Whether 18 karat or 14 karat gold, they're very, very stiff. If you're buying extra Aurora nibs, I always recommend going for the 14K nib, unless you just absolutely have to have the 18K because it's correct for your pen or whatever. The writing feel between 18 karat and 14 karat with Aurora is very, very minimal. Now, compared to the Pelikan, the Aurora nibs are drier and they're much firmer. The Pelikan nibs are very wet. Even a fine nib or extra fine nib is going to be a very wet nib typically. And the Pelikan nibs are much softer. They're very soft, very enjoyable. The older M800 nibs with the Pelikan Fabrique hallmark on them, a little PF hallmark on the nib, usually at the base of the nib, those are extremely soft, very, very special nibs. And those older nibs were available in things like oblique medium, oblique broad, double broad, triple broad, oblique triple broad, very special nib grades there. The newer ones, I don't believe they do 3Bs anymore, but they did release this italic broad that I have on this pen here recently, which is a very, very nice stubbish italic nib. As for Aurora, you have all the standard nib grades, extra fine to broad, as well as double broad, and then oblique medium through oblique double broad. You have a gotcha nib, which is like a curved nib, available in 3 nib sizes, like extra fine, fine, and medium. There is a italic nib, a stub nib, and a flex nib. Don't recommend the flex nib from Aurora though. It's not great in my opinion, but just lots of nib options. If you have both of these two bodies, you have an incredible selection of nibs that are available for your pen, which I think is just fantastic. Now, in terms of the comfort of these pens, my preference is for the Aurora Optima. These pens, as long as you don't go for the demonstrator version, don't really have any metal in the back of the pen. So they're very lightweight, very comfortable, and they post very, very nicely. You get a big, luxurious grip section, which I do prefer to the Pelikan. Very, very comfortable, really 10 out of 10 for comfort. The Pelikan, by comparison, does have metal in the back. You can see it on the demonstrator here, and that is present in all of the M800s as well, whether they're demonstrated or not. There's like a brass piston thread back there. You also have a smaller grip section, so it's shorter, although it is a fat grip section. This is very comfortable. For me, this is the most comfortable in the Pelikan lineup. But it is heavier. When you post this, it does post very securely. It is noticeably a bit more back heavy. It does balance really nice in my hand, but you are aware of that weight, specifically in the tail here. So that is one downside versus the Optima. Now, when it comes to the filling systems, they are both piston filling systems, and the Aurora holds 1.43 milliliters of ink, while the Pelikan holds 1.35 milliliters of ink. But I will say I run out of ink much quicker typically in the Pelikans just because they're so much wetter. Now, one downside for the Aurora is this has a hidden ink reservoir thing. So when this thing runs out of ink, you turn the piston knob all the way down such that you'll see the plunger in the ink window, and that gives you an extra page of ink to write with, which is nice, but it makes these much more difficult to clean than a regular piston filler like the M800. So that, I would say, is the major downside with the Aurora Optima. But overall, both of these are really fantastic full-size pens. And to just show them with some other pens, here it is with a M1000, which I don't find quite as comfortable. Here it is with a Pelikan M600 old size, which is the M400 size. And here they are with a Pilot Vanishing Point, a Faber-Castell Hexo. So these are big, full-size pens. What do you guys think? What do you think is the best, quote-unquote, premium pen out there? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.